Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Zach Young, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Aimee Hartley, founder of The Breathing Room and School Breathe, who empowers individuals, corporate teams, and schools worldwide to harness breathwork for reduced stress, enhanced focus, and optimal well-being. An award-winning breath coach and author of Breathe Well, Aimee delivers science-backed sessions blending functional breathing, conscious connected techniques, and oxygen advantage methods to regulate the nervous system, boost energy, and unlock emotional clarity. Aimee, a very, very warm welcome to Founders Future.
Thanks for having me, Zach. Thank you. Nice to be here.
Absolutely. Going to be a great episode, a lot to dive into. Before we do, I do like to start with your background though. So before the breathing room, before School Breathe, can you walk us through what were you doing previously and what was really your inspiration to get into this space?
Well, way back, 20 years ago, I worked for a PR company. I left university, if we're going to go way back, left university, worked for 2 years for two other companies. And I was just padding around someone else's dream. I always felt like working for someone else. I was not in my vision and not in my dream. So I then set up my own businesses along the way, and then came across yoga and fell in love with yoga for helping me with stress, anxiety, and things. And then, that led me to the wonderful world of breath work.
Mm. I love it. And when was that exactly? Because I feel like recently breathwork has become popular, but I'm gonna guess you were one of the first adopters.
Well, I mean, the very first of doctors was millions of years ago, but it's become, I guess, popular since COVID. I think that's when it kind of boomed. But no, I was probably the first of five here in the UK of breath coaches, and that was 15 years ago. So there's about
Mm.
15 of us 15 years ago. Well, we're trained in it with a lovely lady in America, actually, and we'd sort of trained, just thought, why isn't everyone doing this? And now everyone is doing it. So it's been amazing to watch it mushroom as it has done. Yeah. So this was, don't ask me specific dates, but if I say 15 years ago, and then yes, yeah.
Yes, definitely an early adopter, that's for sure. So
Hmm.
let's go ahead, focus on the breathing room first, then we'll get to School Breathe. So could you walk us through the breathing room? What does working with Aimee look like there? Who are you working with typically? Everything like that.
Mainly these days, corporate clients. So the corporate world, big businesses, they invite me in to well-being days, well-being weeks, and I teach scientifically proven breath exercises to help with stress,
Mm.
overwhelm, calm. So yes, the majority of my clients these days are the big corporates, which is great. It's great that
Yeah.
well-being is being taken seriously these days.
Yeah, I was going to ask, you know, it seems like maybe 10, even 5 years ago, maybe this was something that big corporations weren't doing for their clients, but recently there's definitely been a shift. When have you seen that kind of change? Like when did you see corporations really start taking the health and wellness of their staff more seriously?
I think post-COVID, it became more of serious consideration for corporates, definitely. So for the last 5 years, there's been a nice sort of trajectory on
Mhm.
this.
Got it.
And yeah, so I think people went from sort of working from home and then back into the office, and then I think that's when it happened. And also during COVID, everything was online, so I was called up a lot to offer online breathwork sessions because it was really
Mhm.
easy, really transferable overline, online. I mean, and yeah, and safe to practice. So I think it kind of boomed then. But I was delivering corporate sessions even 12 years ago. I was
Wow.
based in London, in the city, so sort of financial district. So I think just being there and word of mouth. So I'd have one-to-one clients that then would go back and tell their corporate, well-being HR person, and they would get me in.
I love it.
Mm.
So, a corporation brings you in. How long are these sessions typically lasting? Is it sometimes just one and done, or are you coming back, month after month? Kind of walk us through that process.
Yeah, the majority have me for well-being days and then bring me back in for either a well-being hour, 2 hours. It's normally an hour lunch break or at the end of the day. That's when most people like it. And then online, um, sessions to evolve the practice normally happens.
Got it. Okay. I mean, at the end of a long day, you've been sitting at your desk for 8 hours. You're like, oh, a breath working session. And then I bet at the end of the session, I bet you have a lot of people that come to you and you say, Aimee, I haven't felt this relaxed, this at peace in a long time. Is that happening a lot? Am I right there?
That is I mean, I think I've said those words a lot. Yeah, I think the main feeling or the main insight people learn from these sessions is that they're not breathing well. So we are all walking around. 99.9% of us have some form of dysfunctional breathing. So there's lots of people that breathe through their mouth. There's lots of people that breathe at too quick a pace. There's lots of people that are breathing into their upper chests and using their sort of external intercostal muscles to breathe over the healthy way to breathe, which is a nasal diaphragmatic slow breath. So this is the first light bulb moment that you have sort of a group of 30, 40 people. I have some skeptics as well. You always get the skeptics walking in the room thinking, oh, breath work, I breathe all the time, I'm fine. And then within 2 minutes, I lead them through a breathwork discovery where they learn about their unique breath pattern. And by the end of those 2 or 3 minutes, they have suddenly realized that they've been either breathing through their mouth, and that's why they snore at night. They're breathing into their upper chest, and that's why they feel stressed most of the time. And they're breathing at, a rate of 18 to 20. Sometimes I think the highest recently has been like 28, 30 breaths per minute. And they think that's
Jeez.
normal. And this is
Were they
them
running a marathon?
No, they're sat at their desks. Their hearts are running a marathon and their heads are, but their bodies are doing nothing. And this is the big light bulb moment for them. That they're like, okay, I'm not breathing well at all. And then I'll lead them through some really healthy, safe, scientifically backed breath exercises, nasal breathing, belly breathing, slow breathing. And by the end of that, yes, 99.9% of them will say, oh my gosh, I've never felt this relaxed. I didn't even know I could feel this relaxed. And just an insight to how they can change the way they feel by changing the way they breathe as well, I think are the key takeaways for them.
Yeah, we all have access to it too, right? It's not a pill. It's not
No.
whatever. It's so my question there is, I mean, you've been doing this for 15 years, and ever since, we just started talking about the breath, I've been more cognizant of mine, right? So I've been taking some slower, deeper breaths into the stomach. The thing is, though, it's just so easy to kind of forget about it. So how do you get yourself to a place where you're breathing correctly, unconsciously, without having to think about it? Does it just take time? How do you walk people through that process?
It does take time, but you can change it within the moment. So, as you said, you know how to breathe well, or if you do know how to breathe well, you've got the information, but it is the practice. So it's catching yourself in those moments where you're not breathing well. So when you're open the laptop, you're involved in lots of emails, you might find yourself experience tech apnea, which is holding your breath whilst we're involved with technology. It's happening a lot in schools and with teenagers and with adults as well. So when we're looking at our phones or we are replying to emails, many of us hold our breath. So it's bringing the awareness to when our breathing leaves the healthy breath pattern and then inviting some breath patterns in. So I teach a lot of breath awareness, and this is really, really the first stop for anyone to improve their breathing, is to become aware of when they're not breathing well, so they can then invite some healthy breaths in. And you can really, really change the way you feel with just a few healthy breaths as well. So it doesn't take long to change the physiology of the body and to remind the muscles how to breathe. We all know how to breathe well, we've just kind of forgotten. And it's just more that remembering and reminding the body, much like muscle memory. You remind the diaphragm how to breathe well. And it is a practice. If we had, this is why I love getting the breathwork into schools. If we learnt this at school, we would then not be having to learn it later on in life. So yes, it is a practice. It can take time to, say, reverse someone who's breathing through their mouth into their upper chest, not into their belly. That can take time, but it does come with practice.
Absolutely. So you mentioned it, School Breathe. Can you walk us through that a little bit? How are you partnering with these schools, helping the youth so that when they do become adults, they're finally breathing well? Walk us through that.
Yeah, that's the big mission. That's the big mission. When my son first started school, as I said, I had a breath clinic in London, in Liverpool Street, and I would walk from my sessions in London where all the clients would just say, why didn't I learn this at school? Why didn't I learn this at school? You know, it's so amazing, and this is just so simple but so powerful. And then I would go and pick up my son from school, and he'd come out of the school quite stressed, and I'd see the sort of flustered teachers, dropping, open the door to the frazzled parents, and I just thought, gosh, it's not just the adults that need it. It could really, really work in schools. And I just thought, why don't we learn this at schools? This is insane that we're not learning this fundamental key to well-being at primary school. So my son's teacher knew what I was doing as well, and got wind of the power of it, and he asked me to start a very small program just for him and the kids there. So I just came up with very simple, very safe breath exercises for his class, and it worked brilliantly well, so much so that the teacher in the next door classroom said, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then the whole school got wind, and then another, it grew very, very slowly and organically. And then when I was teaching in the East End schools, I realized that so much learning now is online, and we were getting so much demand for it from other schools that I just thought, why don't we take this online and build an online program for the schools so they can just practice 5 minutes of breath work per day, really, really simple, delivered by certified breath coaches. We have amazing breath coaches. We have people with teachers that have worked with children with special needs delivering simple breath exercises. We have mindfulness coaches. We have really, really amazing people delivering the program. And yeah, it's now online, reaches schools worldwide. And yeah, it's just sort of grown in that way, and it's so needed at this time. So yes, it started very small. It started as a real passion project, but it's now yes, my every other breath is cool breathe, which is lovely. It's lovely, but it's amazing how it's just sort of grown how it has.
Yeah, I love it. Like you said, kids need it. They need it these days.
Oh,
Kids are struggling. It's tough to see, first, hopefully we teach them how to breathe right. Then we throw away the phones. Let's work on that secondly.
well, no, it'd be nice to work on it first. I'd like them to get rid of the phones first and then start on the breath work. Really, this is we're in a crisis, a moment of crisis, and we really need. That's for another podcast, but we really need governments to step up and ban social media, as they have done in other countries. Sorry,
Yeah.
it is being banned in Australia, Denmark, various other countries. So we need the phones banned, then bring the breath work in, or side by side. It can help side by side. And we are an online program, but we're teaching healthy techniques. So I think, yeah, it's crucial that something's done. But our mission is to bring breathwork into the curriculum. That's
Yeah.
the big goal.
I love it. I love it. So that's the goal for 2026. I'd love to ask your opinion on a certain type of breath work. Is that okay?
Go for it, please.
All right.
Well, it
We've
depends,
all
but
heard of
yes.
it. We've all seen him jumping in the ice. Mr. Wim Hof. Your personal thoughts on the Wim Hof method, if you're familiar.
I do know. I call myself Wimp Hof because I like activating my vagus nerve by splashing my face with water. I don't necessarily agree with throwing myself in the ice. If my thoughts are, if you have a dysregulated breath pattern, which so many of us do, if we're breathing into our upper chest in a short, shallow way, and that is our baseline, we shouldn't be putting ourselves into cold water and breathing heavily. That's my thinking. If your breathing is, if you're fit and healthy and you're breathing into your diaphragm and you have a healthy breath pattern and you slowly build up to an ice bath with cold showers and, you do it in a very, very, very gradual way, then I think it can be amazing. But it has to come from this safe place. He's amazing. I've met, he's amazing personality. He's a big
Sure.
personality. And yes, but that's my opinion. I think it should be done gradually, safely,
Yeah.
and from a point of view where you are looking at the person's breath pattern. And this is what I'm super passionate about with so many breathworks these days. People are training in less than a month and then going in to train other people and teach other people. They are teaching unhealthy breath practices and they're not looking, is my client breathing well? What do we need? How do we need to work with this clients' individual breath pattern. And we all breathe in a completely different way. So we all have a different starting point.
Yeah.
But yes, so I'm very super passionate, especially because not especially for everyone, but because we're teaching in schools to deliver safe, scientifically proven, evidence-based breath exercises. And I think this is really key for the breathwork industry as well. I think that people have sadly sort of riding the wave, but without proper qualifications, proper certifications. Many people out there at the moment are teaching breathwork without a qualification, which is terrifying for those that have, especially here in the UK. We've worked for years to really establish a very safe breathwork community. So yeah, that's my thoughts, and I've gone off a bit because it's a huge topic at the moment. Actually, it's a huge subject here in the UK because there is some unsafe practices going on. It doesn't have to be and shouldn't be.
That's, to be honest, that's why I asked. I was more so asking about your thoughts on the safety of it and things like that. So
well, we know the reports. You know, do your research. Please do your research before you do anything, and just have a cold shower. Start with cold showers and splashing. Oh, and also it's just activating the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve you can activate by just splashing your face with cold water. So you don't need to fully immerse yourself and potentially have a heart attack.
Yeah,
which is it's a serious concern.
Absolutely. Aimee, pleasure having you on the show. Where can the listeners find you? Where can they connect with you online?
Thebreathingroom.co.uk for corporate breathwork, and schoolbreathe.org for my school breathe work.
Yeah. Perfect. Are you on social media at all?
I am. Breathe.well, school breathe as well. So breathe.well, corporate work and personal breathwork, and schoolbreathe.org for school breathe.
Perfect. It's all about the business. Love it. Aimee, pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Zach.
Absolutely.
Nice to chat to you.
Absolutely. And that will wrap up another inspiring episode of The Founders Feature. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go and connect with Aimee on all of her social media and websites. All of those links will be in the show notes and description down below. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're looking to scale your business, and you really want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we went from 0 to 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.